Yo, what is up, everybody? Ceresco back again with another horror story from you guys, written by Vivian Justin. Remember to use the links in the description below. Show love to them, like, comment, and subscribe. Story 2, Prom. The city's rich and famous are preparing for a dazzling prom. It was held in August every year. About 17 couples from the rich and 10 from the poorer classes attended. From their wardrobes, they took out their most elegant attire. The rest of the town always watched enviously as the well-dressed couples paraded through the streets. The poorer of the 10 couples were transported by limousine to the ball. Every single guest was eagerly awaiting the event. The rich guests were always a constant. The poor changed from year to year. As soon as all the guests arrived, the doors of the building were closed and they were led into a huge hall. In addition to the hall, there were 4 living rooms, a kitchen, 3 bathrooms, a large cellar, and a living room. Long stairs led up from the hall to the bedrooms. The round tables were joined by 4 chairs. They sat around it, and as soon as the last guest was seated, a horde of waiters appeared with plates in their hands. The 4-course feast was eye-catching in appearance, but it was a taste that took the cake. At the end of the meal, the waiters collected the plates. Soft music played in the background and the lights dimmed. At the top of the stairs was a very handsome man in a mask, holding a microphone. The rich people stood up from the table and arranged themselves in a pile. Following the instructions of the masked man, the poor have to survive for 2 hours with the rich they hunt. Those who survive are elevated to the ranks of the rich, along with their families. They get enough money to last them 3 lifetimes. Unfortunately, those who die are the same. The poor were immediately frightened. The waiters were delivering weapons to the rich. Alright, 10 minutes head start. As soon as they hear the shot, the 2 hours begin. The shot is fired. The poor began to run for their heads. Some tried to leave to the door, some ran towards the cellar, and others towards the sleeping quarters. They hid under the bed, some in the closet. They even hid in the furthest corner of the cellar, under the stairs. At the end of 10 minutes, the rich people left. They did not rush. They just spread out and hunted calmly. The masked man stood in the middle of the room, directing the waiters. The tables and chairs were moved, and a platform was brought from the corner and set up for the musicians. They brought the instruments, which consisted of a guitar, a synthesizer, and a violin. There was a constant sound of gunfire, both from upstairs and from the basement. Those who died were taken by the waiters to the separate corner of the room. There, they were placed on elegant chairs and tied down to prevent their bodies from falling off the chairs. 9 chairs were already taken, and the masked man looked over the 9 with pleasure. Over again, people were brought down from the floor. They were fewer and fewer, and the 2 hours passed slowly. Only 53 minutes had passed, but they were already sitting in 14 chairs. The masked man was less than happy about this, mostly because he expected much more entertainment. He thought the poor would be more creative when it came to their lives. He was disappointed. 4 more people had chairs, and that one was persistent and violent enough to be one of them. There were 2 more bangs. 3 men were called into the room by 2 rich men, with guns pressed to their backs. They shook. 2 were shot on sight. The other was left alive. 1 man was missing, but he was nowhere to be found. They searched everywhere. They were getting nervous. 2 hours passed. The masked man shouted into the microphone, but he was nowhere to be found. They couldn't find him until everyone came out of the kitchen. Then the masked man approached the man and said, "I didn't hire you." He was the last one. He was not found for 2 hours. He's pretty sneaky, the masked man thought. The winner was then placed in the middle of the stage. They led away the poor man who was still alive, and a gun was placed in the winner's hand. He shot him without hesitation. His life could finally get better. The musicians began to play. The rich applauded, and the broke into dance of joy. The masked man stood next to the winner and patted him on the shoulder to congratulate him. "That's the worst movie I've ever seen," said one of the young people in the cinema. "Yeah, it was totally boring. Let's go." And he threw a can of popcorn at the screen. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of our story.